All right, hello. Welcome back to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Hope you're all having a good Thursday. It is the end of the week. We finally have some sunshine outside. It has been a while since we've seen that. That is very nice. I took the dogs out today. The dogs have been all stir crazy last few days because we haven't been getting out. They're all happy. I'm happy. You're happy. The sun is out and it's nice. It looks like a pretty good start to the weekend too. So you're almost there, folks. Thanks for joining us. It is Afternoon Drive on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Lily Doucette is producing today. We got Tyler Neufeld, and we actually have a packed house in there today. I don't know half of these people anymore. There's new people here every day, so that's a good thing here at the studios in Newburyport. Let's get right to our guests because they're all locked and loaded here, and it's somebody I've never met before, which I like, and somebody I know quite well nowadays. So we have EJ Oullette, who's the recognizable face, but Dana Cohenour. Hello, EJ. You want to say hello first? How are you? Good to see you over there. And his guest is somebody, the first-time guest, Dana Cohenour. How are you, Dana?
I'm awesome. Thanks so much for having us, Drew.
So this is how this works. EJ tells me, I usually don't question anything. He says, you have to have this person on. She's fantastic, great musician. I'm working with her. And I say, okay, then, we'll do it. So here you are. Nice to see you.
Nice to be here. Thanks so much.
You are you are a very unique musician. I was just listening to some of your stuff on your website on the ride in. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what you do?
Well, I make music for children,
yes.
Young children, anywhere from just itty-bitty bitties to up to about 5 or 6, maybe 7 years old, although my new album that we're working on right now is going to go up in age range to about maybe 9 or 10. So it's nice they're going to reach out to some more kids who may have been my earlier fans. They'll still have something new to listen to that they haven't outgrown.
There you go. Do you ever get the person that kind of grows maybe past your stuff, but then bumps into you and says, "I used to love listening to your music"?
Oh yeah. I've been doing this so long that I think they're probably having their own kids now.
That's probably true. Well, very cool. You're obviously working with EJ for this next album. How's that process going right now?
Well, we are having a blast. EJ is an amazing producer and multi-instrumentalist of the highest caliber. So I am just blessed and honored to be working with him.
Thank you.
You're hanging out at his studios. I see he actually posted some pictures that look like you guys were having fun there. You had all smiles.
Oh, yeah. Well, I came out from Washington State, where I live, to record in the studio to do the vocals. But actually, we've been working for about, maybe 6 weeks already together, or a couple months.
Since September.
Yes, in September.
And kind of like cross-country, too, right? Which is unique. I don't know how often that's being done these days, but technology has allowed you to kind of work together a long ways apart.
Well, it's been amazing. We've been working remotely. I'll let EJ explain a little bit how we're doing that.
Well, obviously Dana's on the West Coast and I'm on the East Coast, and you know how we send files around these days? We can do that. I suggested, first I was going to suggest she record with her iPhone and send me stuff. And then I know she mentioned that she did work with a GarageBand. Yeah. And I suggested a DAW, digital audio workstation, which is very affordable. Yep. And she ordered it, and we showed her how to record with it. Not to produce anything, but just so that she could start sending songs to me, and she would record it. I'd send her back a click track, drum machine track, and then she'd go record to that and send me the piano file and a vocal file, and I loaded it in and put it in my template. And we did the first round. We did 5 songs, 6 songs, and I put the instruments on it, basic instruments. We call the template track. And then we brought in Dave Maddox to play drums on those first 5 or 6 songs.
Good friend of yours.
Good friend of mine. He's awesome. We were out last night, and he's just fabulous. And he came in, laid the tracks down, and I started putting instruments against that. We send it back to Dana. She would sing to it and send her files back. I'd load it in. So we're building this project remotely. Yep. And then she realized she needed to write more songs. And I can't express how incredible this artist is she wrote 10 songs in 6 weeks. 11 songs in 6 weeks. And then we did bunch more, and we brought David in, and now she flew out because we're working on her vocal tracks, getting those vocal tracks down.
Very cool.
And we did use some of her tracks that she recorded in her own studio as well.
Okay. So what makes you actually come here? Does EJ say to you, okay, finishing touches, we actually need you here to finish this off, or did you want to get here?
Well, I wanted to get here. The whole plan was get to be with him, right, and work together.
Very nice.
But yeah, it's pretty much miraculous that I learned how to do the whole DAW recording system from my house. So basically, anybody out there, if I can learn it, you can learn it too.
You did it really fast. You learned fast.
Well, it's been a lot of fun, and now I know how to do it, and now we'll be able to work remotely and do even more projects together. And now I just need a really awesome mic at home, and then I won't have to fly all the way here and sing.
Do you get to get in this neck of the woods often, or?
Well, I used to live on the East Coast in New York City. So we've been in Washington State for 17 years now, but before that, I spent 18 years in New York City and in the vicinity. So I'm very familiar with the whole up and down the East Coast, and used to do a lot of my performing for children. I've been doing a lot of shows in the Boston area, Newton and the surrounding areas. I did many a performance. So I love this area, and my in-laws are from Connecticut, so my husband is a diehard New England Patriots fan.
It's funny how people are getting, I don't know, they're pretty much sick of the Patriots winning the rest of the country.
Lifelong and Red Sox. You know, I grew up in Colorado, though, so once a Broncos fan, always a Broncos fan. So we have a little bit of difference, my husband and I, but I've kind of had to be pulled along to the do the New England end.
When you do the live performances around here, do you have to adopt a little bit of the Boston accent to get through to these people, or
nah.
The kids are young enough?
Kids get into everything.
Actually, there is a little bit of an East Coast accent in her singing, and we discussed that.
Okay.
Well, I was trying to do reggae, actually. We're trying to do lots of different genres. I try to introduce kids to all different genres of music. So one of them this time around is reggae, and my husband kept telling me, I think you're doing an Irish accent. So we're trying to get away from that. But we're having a lot of fun, and I think this album is going to be super cool, reaching out to the children and talking about, it's called Home, actually. The album is called Home, and it's about all the different animal habitats. So all different kinds of animals. We've got everything from the rainforest to the underground animals. We have an underground traffic jam happening underground with all the moles and gophers and all of the folks that live under there. And we have bird song, and we have, what else do we have, EJ?
Beavers.
Beavers. We've got a song called Let's Build a Dam, which is a real rocker. I think you've got a little bit of it.
What track is that? We'll get that one
what
started
track
in a
is
second.
that Beaver song?
I'm not sure what track that's on there, but you had an encounter with a beaver on.
Oh, yes. So here's the exciting news. I get here, and I went out for my my morning run, like the second day we were here, and I had written this whole song about beavers and let's build a dam. So I went out for my run. I go over this bridge. I glance to my left, and who do you think I see? Oh my gosh, it's a beaver right there just munching on something, and I was like, holy cow, I can't believe I found a beaver. It must be a sign from above.
Do you run to your own music?
Well, only if I have to.
You hear enough of that, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, here's the easy question for you. What is the secret? What's the magic potion to making a good kids album?
I think engaging them with participation. That's what I would say. Get them involved in the music. Get them somehow interactive, right? Interactive music that the kids have something to respond to or to relate to. And so I try to incorporate things like movement and call and response so that they have a part in the music as well. So it's not just me singing at them. They're singing back too, and they have a little joy. And when I do my live shows, I found out early on it's imperative to have interactivity so that they have something to do. Otherwise, you can lose their attention quickly. And believe me, with kids, you know if you've got them or you don't. So early on, I realized I have to make interactive, participative music, and that's what I do.
A lot of mom and dads shaking their heads in agreement with you right there.
And that's the other thing. You got to try to make it adult friendly, and that's what I also try to do always.
That can't be easy.
Well, I think
everyone. Come on.
Well, I think if you use real instruments, quality production like EJ is doing for me, the kids deserve it. They deserve great music. They don't need just nursery rhyme, somebody recording in their closet sort of stuff. I want to do really awesome, high quality music for children because they deserve it. And this is what they're getting introduced to. So this album, we're doing a bossa nova song about the rainforest. So I feel like maybe they don't know bossa nova, but now they will.
Yeah. Did you see kids who are really like genuinely engaged that are just loving it? That, you know, wow, look at that one. I got that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's no greater joy than performing for children and hearing the laughter and hearing them joining in on the singing and seeing them jumping and getting involved. I used to sing in smoky bars and cabarets in New York City for many years. And then I started singing for children in the sunshine in the daytime and hearing them respond and watching their smiling faces. And, well, I never went back to the smoky bars. Thank goodness.
I can imagine why. It seemed you sell it very well.
And we do have kids on the album.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, we have 7 kids from my whole music academy that are singing on this project.
Wow.
So it is interactive in the sense that we have kids on this.
That is great.
With great voices.
Kind of gives it that live feel a little bit.
Definitely a live feel.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. I always have children on my records, you know, because I think children respond to hearing other kids singing. And so, and then they know that they can do it too, right?
No wonder why you're having so much fun with this. It seems like a fun project.
I'm having a blast.
Can we listen to a taste here?
Sure.
Just right off the bat, let's just take a listen so people can get a little taste here. What's up?
Come on, let's dance with the honeybees and pollinate the plants and trees. Fly to the flowers, hop, 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 and carry the pollen with every stop. Gotta get nectar for a honeycomb and bring it on back to our home, sweet home. Buzz, buzz, it's a honeybee bebop. Flap your wings with a flip and flop. Buzz, buzz, buzz all around the hive.
Just finished those vocals an hour ago.
An hour ago.
Now's your chance to do the waggle dance. Buzz, buzz, buzz to the bebop jive.
There you go. Now you get a good feel for it.
The queen stays home in the hive out of sight, but worker bees are busy from morning till night, caring for the babies and feeding the queen, making all the honey and keeping things clean. The drones hang around the hive and wait, hoping to be the queen's new mate. Buzz, buzz, it's a honeybee bebop. Flap your wings.
There you go.
Dave Maddox on drums, Amesbury Steve Baker on saxophone.
Okay.
So, yeah, mostly us from
And
the hood.
EJ Oullette on every other instrument under the sun.
It's too funny. So we had, I think we were talking off the air a little bit. I had another one of EJ's friends, Mark Bishop Evans, on not too long ago. And he made the comment that he loves absolutely everything about working with EJ. Except there was one thing, EJ, he mentioned. I don't know if you caught this on the air. Did you notice this? He said, except sometimes I think I do it great. And he goes, really nice job. Let's do it again.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, you've heard that, have you?
It's perfect. Do it again.
He said, Mark would say, I'm not sure I can do it any better than that. And
But you know what? He draws it out of you. You know, same thing. I keep thinking, I nailed that one. He's like, okay, try it again.
again, it reminded me of the Herb Brooks, the old USA coach. Remember that movie Miracle there?
Oh, yeah.
So the guys, again. Yes. Oh, that's funny.
Generous with repetition.
Generous, yes, very good. But but so you've heard that a little bit, but still a great experience.
Oh yeah, we're having so much fun, and you know what? He's up in my game quite a bit, you know. And
can you actually feel that as an artist?
Oh, definitely. You know, like we just said, I thought it was fine. Oh wait, it can be better, and we want to make this one just stellar. I'm hoping it'll be my best one yet. So.
You've been in this long enough where you pretty much know what you're doing and know what you have something. Know when you have something, but when you do get in a room with other great musicians and all these kind of creative processes coming together, is there a part where I didn't even think about that? Maybe we should add that, or
Oh, for sure. Yeah. These magical moments just seem to come out of the ether, and when you have this collaboration, which is the awesome thing that's happening, is that just something that you didn't plan just happens, and then you're like, wow, can we get that again? And so that's kind of spontaneous, like the Honeybee Bebop. I thought, well, let's do a little scatting and just bzzz, and it was just off the cuff. Sometimes the best things happen.
Is there sorry, EJ, you want to chip in? Go for it.
It's an aerobic experience. I'm dancing in the control room.
I bet you are. Is there you've mentioned reggae and several other genres of music already here. Is there a kind of music that you automatically have the kids hooked on, like that age group really, you know what, anytime you play anything reggae, you immediately have their attention or something like that?
Well, this is my first time trying to write a reggae song, but so I haven't yet experienced that. But I think they like a steady driving beat, so, something they can move to, that they can jump right in.
Okay.
My last album was all about movement, getting them away from their screens and moving and getting healthy, and so a lot
Away
of
from
jumping.
Screens? Like,
Yes, away from their devices, away
yes.
from their iPads and all the other devices there are. But so the last one was all about getting them jumping and moving, and so I did all different. I try to every album I try to introduce kids to all different musical genres and styles. But I think as far as one that gets them moving is rock and roll.
Rock and roll. That's kind of the that one never goes away, does it?
Well, that album you did your last album, you did that down in Nashville.
Yes,
and
yeah.
that rocks.
Oh yeah.
Do I have that one right here? Is that one? Of the ones you
That
just
one,
gave me?
yes, it's called Dana's Best Jump and Jam Tunes.
Jam. That's this
That's
one. If
my
you like it,
latest
the,
one.
little
Yeah.
picture of the cover there, Lily. Just send that this way.
Oh wow.
There
yeah.
we go. Oh yeah.
Dana's Best Jump and Jam Tunes, and there's things like the Wiggle Workout on that one, and the Jump and Jive, and gosh, I'm trying to remember what all is on there. There's a song that's a
Barnyard Hoedown.
Oh yeah, the Barnyard Barnyard Hoedown is just a funny story song about all the animals having a hoedown in the barn.
5 green and speckled frogs. I have questions about, but
well, that one, that's the only one that's not an original song on that album. I thought, well, I just love the idea of the kids doing the jumping of like the frogs. So that one's a familiar tune, but I put my own spin on it. And these guys down in Nashville that played on that album were just stellar, and they gave it a real country bluegrassy feel that really moves.
you could turn that into a kids workout CD here.
Well, that's kind of what it is,
kinda what it
actually.
is, yeah.
There's a song called Wiggle Workout.
That is funny. The you talk about playing for the kids and the that age group. I wonder, are there any challenges? Because I know you mentioned the screen time. I don't have kids myself, but I can imagine that's a big issue for parents these days. It's just maybe not the phone so much, maybe too young for that, but every kid. I mean, my 5-year-old, my cousin's kid, 5 years old, can work around that iPad thing faster than I can. It's
I think
incredible.
they are born now knowing how to do the whole typing on the
It's
screen.
unbelievable.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes I think that parents are using it a little bit more often than they need to as a babysitter. Believe me, I'm a mom, so I remember when it comes in handy to have that. But I think in terms of, instead of letting games or that kind of thing go on constantly, let your kid listen to music occasionally. And so, there's lots of great music for children out there these days. And, just go out there and find it. And remember, parents, music is out there for your kids. It's not all about, the playing tic-tac-toe or whatever online. You can engage them with their music and keep them involved as well.
A very real experience, the music and live music. Let's dip into a little bit more here. Dana Cohenour on Joppa Afternoon Drive, of course, with EJ Oullette. I'm just going to dip into a random one if you don't mind, and you can kind of walk us through it. Let's do that.
That's me. I'm Hattie from the island of Caribou-Key.
Okay.
This is the reggae. I jumped
Here's
right
the
to
reggae.
it. All right.
Yep.
We weren't going to get away from this.
This one's
Say it again.
about hermit crabs and their different homes.
Carried with me wherever I roam, but I don't grow a shell on my own, you see. Gotta find me an empty with a vacancy. Every day is moving day. A hermit crab's always looking for another place to stay. Yeah, every day is moving day for the crabs living by the Caribbean Sea on Caribou-Key.
Now, you mentioned, I'm not going to get you in trouble with the publicist, right? This is actually, you guys are literally, this is hot off the presses here. This is today.
Yeah, I think we sang this one yesterday.
So people cannot actually buy this one yet.
Not yet. It'll come out probably in February or so.
February, okay.
But you can get my old ones. Just go to my website. You can find that.
That's a good tune-up. Get the old ones first.
Yeah.
I should make a mention that Dana was at one time on Rounder Kids.
Oh, okay.
As you know, the founders of Rounder are here
Yeah.
in Newburyport,
Rounder
and she was
Records.
on that label, distributed through Rounder.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Here,
Yeah.
take it back up a little bit here. Let's take one more.
Place to stay. Yeah, every day
There are the kids.
is moving day for the crabs living by the Caribbean Sea on Caribou-Key.
sounds good, your first stab at reggae there. Very nice.
You know what's neat, though, is that through this writing this album, all about the different animals and their habitats, I have learned so much through all the research I've been doing about each different type of animal that I've been writing about. So that song, I learned that there is a little island called Caribou Key in the Caribbean, and it's just this tiny little key, and they have a research station there because there are so many different types of aquatic animals right there, and it happens to be a colony of hermit crabs, just tons and tons of hermit crabs. So that's why I thought, well, I'll just name the whole song after those
There you go.
hermit crabs on Caribou Key.
So you're teaching yourself stuff as you're
Oh
writing
yeah,
these
I've been
songs,
learning
huh?
a ton. It's
That probably
been
happens a
great.
lot. And that's kind of the thing where, like, parents, if they listen closely enough, you can learn a few things from your music, right?
Yeah, and I'm hoping this one will be a very educational album for the kids that they'll learn along with me, and we'll also have some album notes that come with this recording for all the things that I learned that I wasn't able to fit into the lyrics. So there'll be more like, did you know that this, that, the other thing about these animals?
It actually was a big learning experience for me.
Yes, I can imagine.
When Dana was sending me out the songs and the lyrics, and I'm going, oh my God. And I did one children's album 30 years ago for Rachel Buckman for the Rounder Group. And now, when I'm working with this and working on this project, the lyrics, she's really good with lyrics and putting these stories together. But what was really nice about it, it created a beautiful lightness in my studio. So it was just a wonderful thing to come work on because of the melody and the storylines and the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, it was just children's music, and it was just a joy. It's still a joy just to go in and
Literally
work on.
brought the studio to life, huh?
It's beautiful.
Do you have to go do like a
EJ.
really dark album now or something with just to balance it out?
Well, you know, the funny thing is, I'm semi-retired from teaching children.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, I'm working with kids again. So it's cool. I love it.
That is cool. Dana, how did you actually meet EJ? Do you guys go way back?
Oh,
Or?
no, we've only met a couple of years ago. We actually met online through this great organization called the Indie Collaborative. So that is kind of an online group, and all independent musicians from all different genres, from classical to jazz to children's to American roots and all that. So all the artists kind of get together and listen to each other's stuff and ask questions about it to one another, and learn from each other, and also support each other as far as, you know, if they need, maybe somebody wants a sax player. Okay, I met this sax player on Indie Collaborative, and that's how I met EJ. And I saw his videos, heard his music a couple of years ago, and I was so impressed, and I thought, wow, that's somebody I'd like to work with. So when I decided to do this album, I've done all my other albums down in Nashville, but this time I thought, you know, I think I'm going to do something a little different and see if I can get that EJ guy to work with me. And when I asked him, I was all nervous. I got ready to send the message saying, yeah, do you think you might be interested in doing a children's project? And then he came right back with that, oh, sure, I'd love to. And I was like, woohoo, yay.
Perfect.
So very lucky that he's working with me on this.
And it's a blast. And the IC, the Indie Collaborative, we get together and do shows, and we're going out to LA during the Grammys.
Oh, cool.
Grammy event, and hopefully we'll be performing at the IC event that they have out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
You happen to have
Oh,
that
yeah.
process done, by the way, the voting process?
When you when you texted me yesterday, we were right there at the submission line.
Thank you for picking up. I
And you
realized I got you at a bad time.
You get 5 seconds. That's it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we had to get our Grammy tickets together. So,
Oh.
well, that's also how we met. We're part of the whole Recording Academy, and so we connected through that as well. So a few different Facebook groups that we found each other on. So he's kind of popping up everywhere. So I knew this guy's engaged, and so we're going to go to the Grammys together this year. And you never know, maybe we'll go next year.
Yeah, well, you mentioned he is everywhere. I always tell people that that EJ has worked with and all that he every time he comes on here, he has that great kind of energy that just wakes everybody up, which is a good thing to say about a performer. And they all say the same thing. He does that in the studio. Like if you're off a little bit or something, like EJ gets you, he has that ability to kind of up your game. And, here we go. You're waking up now. Let's go. Now we're getting into it. Does he do that with the children's music with you too?
Oh, believe me, he's been trying to get me into the groove and on the beat ever since we started. And to do that, he dances. And I have video proof, too.
Oh, on you? We might have to see that.
Oh, unfortunately, I forgot my phone in the studio, honestly, but I would show you.
People always forget it's simulcast. That would be... Well, you can email it to me, and we'll play it at a later date. It'll be just fine.
But he really does get the energy up in the studio that way, and you can kind of, with his groovy dancing, you can see where the beat's supposed to land, and if I could just not laugh, then I'd be on the beat.
Very good. I get Dana Cohenour here with EJ Oullette talking about their latest album, which is you're still working on it, and you said we have the official title, right? I can say that?
Yes, the title is Home.
Okay, we can say that. I think you mentioned that, so we're good. Home is the official title. You think it's going to come out in February. Folks, you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek here today because they're nice enough to give us the music that they've just been working on. An hour ago, you said?
Yep.
Let's do one more. We'll just keep rolling through some of these here so we can listen and talk and all that sort of stuff.
Everybody needs that one place. Everybody needs a safe space. Everybody needs somewhere to be with their family. We all need a little nest, a cozy corner where we can rest. Every creature everywhere needs their own somewhere, a place to call home, home, a place to call home, home, a place to call home.
I slowed it down a little bit. Very nice.
That's the opening song.
It's the title track there.
Yep. Well, actually, the title track is going to be the closing song. That one's just called Home.
Oh, okay. Is that number 11? That's the infamous
Yes, that
number
would be
11?
number
Okay.
11. We have to do things a little off kilter.
Very good. A lot of these, when you're writing about, in this case, the one subject with animals and that is it. Where are you drawing your? I know you probably know a lot about animals anyway, but are you going back? I picture you rifling through National Geographic, and where are you getting all this inspiration to write about all these animals?
Well, I knew I wanted to introduce children to all the different animal habitats, right?
Yeah.
So I just kind of started brainstorming about where do the animals live, underground, in the sky, in the ocean. We've got one song about the whales, the humpback whales, and the migration. It's called Migration. So just trying to think about where, the wetlands, that's where the Beaver Dam song comes from. Yep. So I tried to incorporate animals from all different types of habitats. And then I just had to get busy online researching.
Yeah, online is a good tool to have.
The rainbow. We've got our somewhere we can go, our place to call home, home, our place to call home, home, our place to call home.
So when it must be fun to write about because you're actually probably learning stuff every day and trying to. Is it hard issues too? I know you're not trying to change a kid's life and scare them about certain things, but are there things that kids can actually learn from and say, "Oh, I didn't realize that."
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to highlight certain issues like the honeybees.
Yeah.
I chose the honeybees on purpose because they're in such crisis now.
Yes.
And so...
how important that is to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I try to interject in my lyrics a few lines about that. Nothing, in your face.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that if kids hear the song about the honeybees, that when they are... told that yes, there's a crisis with the honeybees, that they will care, because they've heard the song about the honeybees and they've gotten to know them a little bit.
Yeah.
And we have another song I wrote about the rainforest, and I'm not saying the rainforest is getting burned down in the song, but I'm trying to get the kids to know about which animals live there and how important the trees are and how they're the lungs of our planet and help the earth breathe. So I'm hoping that when they hear it, when they realize there's an issue about these things, that then they will feel connected to the rainforest already, and they'll care enough to get involved and
When they
help.
hear the rainforest is burning down, yes.
It is. So that
Yeah.
was, so I did want to bring attention to some of these issues and just get kids just on the edges acquainted with it.
Yeah, it's probably a fine line you have to balance there a little bit.
Yeah,
'cause
I
you don't
still,
want to overload the young
no,
brain.
I don't want to
but-
be overbearing because some of the listeners are 3 years old. They don't really get that.
Yeah.
But the kids who are 8 and 9 and 10, which I'm trying to reach out more to this time,
Yeah.
they are going to hear that song, and maybe their parents will say, and the rainforest is in danger. And so I'm hoping the parents will enjoy these songs too, and maybe even learn a few things as well.
Is that because 8 and 9-year-olds ask a lot of questions? Is that right?
Oh,
Is
for
that-
sure. They're curious about everything. I wish we could all remain as curious as the kids.
Yes, well, that's very cool. It's a cool way of approaching it. EJ, when you listened to what drew you to Dana? I mean, you don't say yes to everybody. I know that. What was special about her?
Well, I liked the Jump and Jam
Yes.
CD, and I liked the way that she approached me previously in it, and I liked the way that she responded on social media to other people, and I could tell she's from the same place that I am, which is a place of what's the word, abundance, and so I connected on that level with her.
Yep.
And I do with other people too, but when she approached me, she didn't demand anything. She just asked me if I would want to do it, and because I have a school or have taught thousands of children, I felt that this would be a good project for me to do, and to have it come out of my company.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when she started sending me the songs with the lyrics, I was just, I just went, this was serendipitous. This was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's very nice.
yeah.
Thank you, EJ. I'm the blessed one here.
Aw.
I'm blessed too.
It's true.
A lot of love in the room. Very nice.
Yeah.
Again, we're joined here by Dana Cohenour and EJ Oullette, as they've been working together for how many months? But how many weeks actually here in?
I think we started the second week in September.
Se-
Second week in September, but Dana flew out here on the 15th, and
15th,
she's here until Monday.
Okay, so you're coming towards the end.
So she goes back to her own studio.
Yeah, yes. Are you going to go back and still have work to do, or?
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, we won't be done when I leave here. We still have a lot of mixing to do, and then the
Yeah.
mastering, and we might have a few sound effects to throw on there that we won't have time to do this week. But this week has been jam-packed every day, singing, and I did most of my keyboard tracks here in EJ's studio. I did some at home, but, felt like maybe I could get them a little better in the groove.
So when Dana came out here, I just says, I want to focus on you here. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Just really get her lyrics and the melody and everything to really reflect in the music that's being created, and to really let these songs come alive.
Yeah, and when you traveled here and you did most of your recordings in Nashville, or all of them, did you say?
Well, the first one I did in New York City, but
Yep.
then after that, all the next 6 or whatever were in Nashville.
Do you pick up anything from? I mean, I know people that musicians that will even just go into a Nashville studio for some reason. Being there, you end up catching some of the stuff that's in the air there. Like there's just certain things that creep in, which I'm sure you experienced in Nashville. Does some of that happen here when you do pick some stuff up, some New England centric stuff maybe? You run across and you see a beaver, and they're
Well, that was the big thing, seeing the beaver. And EJ had told me, there's beavers around here. I'm like, oh, sure.
You predicted the beaver.
Well, what happened was, is she said, do you have any beavers out there? I go, yeah, we live in a watershed. So I went out for a bike ride, and I found a bunch.
I wasn't quite sure he was telling me the truth until I saw it with my very own eyes. It was so serendipitous. But yeah, in Nashville, the joy that I found always there was just hearing my songs come alive. You write your songs and you have the instrumentation in your head and you know how you want it to sound. And then when you get there, I've always worked with these studio musicians, and you basically play through the rough track once, explain what you want, let them see the lyrics, blah, blah, blah. And it's like 1, 2, 3, boom, the music just comes alive. And EJ, so that's been this huge, joyous thing, hearing the songs come alive. But now with working with EJ remotely, it's been one joy after another, because he'll send me a guitar track. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And then he'll put a little mandolin on, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then he'll put some banjo on, and then he'll put electric guitar, and then a different, he's just so amazing. He plays, well, I took pictures for the first 2 days of the different instruments he was playing, and I counted, I had 11 pictures of all the different instruments he played just in 2 days.
I'm not even sure that gets us halfway there. This has been a very big topic of conversation every
I'm
time.
high maintenance.
Yeah. I asked him once on this very show, I said, do you actually know how many instruments you play? And he goes, actually, no, not off the top of my head. I'd have to.
I think he's lost count. Well, I'll tell you, today I was standing in the vocal booth singing, and I turned around, and behind me, I had to count. There were 9 guitar cases, literally 9 guitar cases. I'm like, are those all yours? Okay, no surprise.
Oh, that's funny. Let's dip back in again. Some more music here from Dana Cohenour. Her new album is coming out probably in February. You're getting a good taste of it here. She's been working on it with EJ Oullette from right here in these neck of the woods. So a little bit of West Coast to East Coast production. Here's a little taste.
Hungry and their mamas are too. So what's a hungry humpback whale gonna do? The whales know when it's time to go. They're feeling that sensation. It's time to change location and make the big night, make the big night, make the big migration. Head back north.
There's the Humpback Whale song.
Yep.
I love that song.
Well, okay then.
Warm winter
Do some more then.
way down south, but the north is the place to catch fish in the mouth. Whales come together and blow a bubble net and scoop a ton of fish without breaking a sweat. The whales know how to blow. It's another summer up in Glacier Bay. They'll stay until the sun starts fading away. When snow and ice start bringing a chill, and they've had their fill of fish and krill, the whales will know when it's time to go. The whales know when it's time to go.
Very cool.
Don't you just love the voice?
I do, actually.
Oh, thank you.
And it's very, I think it's probably something that seems obvious, but a real strength of yours is with all that stuff that EJ throws on there. Your lyrics are just so, don't miss any word, which is probably very important for kids.
Yeah.
I can imagine. There's no, that whole Springsteen thing. What do you say there? It was what? Or
Yep.
lock the cash bar. There's none of that. This is very clear
Right.
lyrics. So
Well, you want to make it very clear to the kids so they
Yeah.
understand what you're saying, because I
Yeah.
got something to tell them in these songs. You know,
Yeah.
I want them to hear it and hear the message and hear it loud and clear.
that's not the easiest thing to do, right, EJ? When
No.
you get that's a real talent.
Well, mixing this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. We plan on slide guitar, electric slide guitar on that one.
Yep.
And so we have one more instrument go on that. And maybe the kids will sing on that today.
Yeah.
But it is.
You're still thinking about adding some kids to that?
We have 7 in the studio today at 4:15.
How about that? When I tell you folks, this is a work in progress as we speak. You're getting a real first taste, so it's pretty cool. So some of these songs I can actually see when you're listening to them. Like there's some joy that you kind of can see an artist that, you know what, I'm listening to this for kind of I haven't heard too much of this, coming back at you. It must be kind of cool for you to sit here and hear some of it too.
It is. It's a joy to work on it. It's just different,
Yeah.
It creates a light of heart feeling in the studio.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't get up in the morning, okay, I got to go do those tracks.
Yes. I bet. Do you find yourself singing these things during the day? I mean,
All the time.
I'm driving them loony.
All the time.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's I might be singing that Wales one. Actually, I'm doing it in my head right now, which is probably that's going to scare me.
Oh,
for the day.
they're catchy.
Yeah.
It's all heck.
What's the writing process? Do you sit down and write a bunch of them? He said you wrote quickly. 6 in a short period of time? But
Oh, yeah. Well, I I'm a person who needs a deadline.
You need a deadline, okay.
I basically said, okay, we're recording in November. And by that, I thought, I need to finish the songs by November. And then he threw this whole remote process at me. So then all of a sudden, I needed to get the songs done quickly split. So we started working as soon as I finished the first song. And then throughout the process, I've just been writing for the last couple of months. So 11 songs happened pretty quickly. And it's a little stressful, but I think that's the way I need to work, because I just need to focus. And then once you have a theme, too, like this album is a little easier to generate ideas because it's based around the theme of the animal's habitat. So once you decide, okay, I'm writing a song about whales migrating, then delve into the research and then figure out what story you want to tell. And basically, I cried when I finished that one because I was so relieved it came together.
I bet. And I think you're probably going to find, and I know, I mean, you said you have kids. Maybe you know this, much more than I do, but I know my nephew is all into animals. He's like 4 years old. And everything is animals. I mean, there's like the whole house is animals, every book is animals, every TV show is animals. Like it's something about kids and animals, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think they relate to them, because, I think all humans relate to animals, but especially when you're a kid, you're curious about all the different animals. And I think as we get older, we kind of tend to get busy with our own lives and we stop thinking about the rest of the planet, what's around us, all the animals that are out there living in here, this earth place too. And we got to remember they're out there and they're just as important as we are.
Well, there you go. I like the concept. Let's do a little more here from Dana Cohenour.
When the sun sinks low, it's time to get up and go. That water wants to move, we gotta stop the flow.
The Beaver Song.
Together in this beaver colony to make a larger home for our friends and family. We need sticks and stones, leaves and logs, mud to build a dam. We use our iron teeth to chew through big tall trees. They fall in timber, we're busy beavers hard at work.
Oh, I got a taste of the dance in here. Very good. That is too funny. And that's the joy I'm talking about when I see you guys hearing these songs for the first time. And now I'm actually just picturing you running over a beaver dam as you're
Was
writing
awesome.
this song. But that is very cool. So this is most of it is upbeat. There's the one kind of slower song, but it's
There's most all of them are pretty rocking like that
Yeah.
one, but the opening and closing song are more not lullaby-ish, but quieter and more heartfelt. And there's one other song about bluebirds and all the different color birds that is a little more quiet and soulful as
It's
well.
an answer to Paul McCartney's Blackbird. Is that what you're saying? No.
Oh, if I only could. This
more.
one's about bluebirds and red and all the different color birds, but I don't think it's on this one
All
that
right.
you have yet.
A little more of the beaver tune.
They fall in timber, we're busy beavers hard at work. Boom, boom, bam, let's build a dam. We know how to get things done, we're nature's engineers. Boom, boom, bam, let's build a dam.
You were feeling that one, huh?
Oh, yeah. You can't not rock to that one with EJ's awesome guitar.
When did we record the vocals? Today or yesterday? Were they yesterday we recorded the vocals, or was it today?
It wasn't today. It was maybe a day or two ago. I think it was the day that I saw the beaver, which was very inspiring.
And the kids are going to sing on it today, I believe, right?
Yeah, the kids are going to sing on that and get the sticks and stones and the
There you
boom,
go.
boom, bam.
Could you, if you had to do a show, a live album show right now, could you do it, or would you need a teleprompter? These songs are so fresh.
They are very fresh. I still have the lyrics in my hand while I'm singing.
I would imagine.
And I would say, you haven't got those memorized yet?
Maybe I have the chorus memorized, but I don't think I could go jump and do the whole show.
Do you have them memorized already?
If I had to, I would memorize them. But it's really funny. She has it the hand up, and she's reading the story. I go, do you really need those? Yes, I do.
Just a little crutch, just so I don't have to think about
a lot
it.
of lyrics. There's
Yeah.
a lot of content involved, so it's not they're not simple pop tunes,
Right.
repetitive lines or anything. There's a storyline and an intention
Yeah.
with the lyrics.
Do you use that on stage? I mean, even some of the biggest musicians in the world right now have teleprompters. I see it all the time.
Oh no, I have no time for a teleprompter in my shows.
Or anything. Even
I'm constantly jumping and moving. It's like a workout. My shows are like very interactive and high energy. So no cheating on the lyrics when we get to the show. Yeah.
So when you do forget a lyric, you can fake your way through it. Huh?
Oh yeah. Since I wrote them, I'm the only one who really knows.
And Dana does wear a dog suit sometimes.
No, I don't wear the dog suit.
don't?
That's the best part about
you
being me. I never have to be in the dog suit. I have a dog character on my albums.
okay.
His name is Rowdy. And so years ago, I got this costume character suit made, and much to my husband's joy, he gets to be the dog and wag his tail.
Wow.
He recently told me he's retiring from being the dog, and I told him, hey, either you get in the suit, either dog suit or the dog house. What's it going to be, buddy?
There you go. And I think we all know the answer to that, right?
Yes.
I knew someone was in a dog suit.
And, once the dog comes on stage, it's really all about the dog, which my husband does remind me of. It's all about the dog. And it is. The kids love Rowdy, my dog character.
Well, all these years of doing it, I'm sure he deserves some credit for it, right? He's doing a fine job.
Oh, for sure. Well, he only had to do it part-time. I had a real actual, costume character professional doing it most of the time. But, on some weekends, my husband, Jason, he's in the suit, wagging his tail.
Good
He never
job.
knew when he married me he'd end up doing that.
You didn't have to disclose that, huh?
No, thank goodness. I was already roped him in before the Rowdy came along.
Well, good job, Jason.
Yeah.
Fine work all these years.
That's news to me.
I was actually hoping my son Jack would take over being in the dog suit after my husband refused to be in it, but then that didn't
He
work
said
out.
not a chance.
He was like, "No way, no way."
So let me a couple personal. I'm curious about who are the influences for Dana Cohenour. What's who'd you listen to growing up? Was it? I'm sure there was a lot of artists that maybe did inspire you in this direction. But what's the other stuff when you're on your own time?
Oh gosh.
Running, doing your workout. What are you listening to?
Well, when I'm working out, I'm listening to all high energy, stuff. But my influences from an earlier time were Carole King, Joni Mitchell, Billy Joel, and the person who, if I hadn't met my husband and was available, would be James Taylor, who's from around here, right?
Yes,
So all of that was a huge influence on me. So I kind of love that style. But I kind of like all different styles of music. So Jobim with the bossa nova, I could listen to that all day. And so, lots of different styles I like. And I don't know, these days I like a lot of the new stuff that's out there. Like, the Migration song. I love the feel of the... maybe the Shawn Mendes pop stars out there. They've got a good groove going, So I try to capture I try to stay young listening to some of this.
Yes.
But, I try to capture some of that current groove.
Yeah. I hear a lot of new names. Actually, you'll probably bump into them at Grammy weekend. A lot of new names are getting. Actually, EJ, you did a good job. I don't know if you have them off the top of your head, but some local musicians got some Grammy recognition, right?
Yes, that was. Oh my God! Yeah, would ask me. John Finberry.
Yeah. So we don't talk about these things.
I went to high school with him.
Oh, cool.
Him and Melio Milner, who's down in Argentina.
Yeah.
And he produced an album for John and his band, and they got a nomination for Best Latin.
Wow, awesome! And congrats, guys.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful album. And Emilio went to Berkeley many years ago.
Okay.
So, but cool. I can attest that Dana has a wide musical palette,
yes.
And this is what makes it fun for me because I try to play lots of different styles and everything, but she comes in with a lot, and she has great jazz sensibility too, as well.
Oh, very nice.
That's probably my main love. Is I sang in the New York City cabarets and bars, doing a lot of jazz for 8 or 10 years, and that's kind of what I gravitate to is the Cole Porter and Gershwin, and so that's probably my true foundation of my singing.
I was trying to learn some stuff about you and doing my seeing what EJ was writing about you, and I hope this is for public consumption. But did you guys take in that at Chianti the other night?
Oh, we did
last night.
Last night, great spot, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I loved every second. We went and heard Dave Maddox play with Dan King. Yeah, Dave Maddox, the guy who's playing the drums on my album. I'm so honored and thrilled that he's playing. I mean, he played with Paul McCartney, and now he's playing with me. Oh,
See, there's
Very
the connection. The
yes.
blackbird,
Yes,
bluebird
and the
thing.
wings, with the butterfly wings and the bees. But and he was playing with Dan King last night. They really were awesome. So
Cool.
we've been having a lot of fun as well as working.
Yes.
And the guitar player was Dave Brown, who was with
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
Okay.
And Wolf, I forget his last name. We're friends on Facebook, but I've never met him.
Yeah.
But they were stellar last night.
There's some great
They
acts
were
that come
so
through
good
there.
last night.
Yeah,
Major
definitely.
league.
Check
Good.
out Chianti. I wish I lived here. I'd be there every week.
It is. It's a fun spot. It's funny you mentioned Billy Joel too, because I recently just heard an interview with him, and he said like the Beatles were his inspiration. He loved the melodies, and he always was trying to learn. And he was one of those guys too that didn't want people to miss a word, which I was kind of what I was saying
Yes.
about you earlier. And it's funny that that's an inspiration. I could see that connection.
Yeah.
Who's now like playing Fenway Park every year? It's a very
Oh, isn't
odd
that
thing.
cool? I
So when did that happen?
And for a while there, wasn't he playing Madison Square Garden
I
like
think
once
he's
a
been
week
still
or
doing that, I
something?
think.
Yeah.
Like, once a month, I think. Now.
Oh, once a month
Once
now.
a month. Oh yes, 350. We're flying. This is what
Oh.
happens. We're almost done. I want to play one more song here. I think we did.
Do we
got to
have
all-
one more?
I think we got one more.
I think we have one more.
Okay.
I forget what you did.
I think it's
what
the
it
last one. I hope I didn't get the repeat. These things bounce around sometimes, but.
This one.
You're gonna have to tell me which one we didn't play because
We did this one. This one's a Beaver
we
song.
didn't do them all.
One, two, three.
All right, so we're gonna end with this one for you today. Again, this has been a lot of fun. Dana Cohenour, EJ Oullette. They're gonna head right back to the studio, which is hilarious for me. You guys are literally fitting us in and then running
Right.
back to record more of these
Yep.
songs, which I find to be very funny.
Got to
But,
get the kids singing on this one.
Thank you so much. I know you were a little bit concerned about, wow, we're going to do the whole hour. It goes by very
It
fast,
flew.
right?
Just like a honeybee bebop.
Wow, very nicely done. Here you go. A little more to take us out.
Thanks, Drew.
Really a pleasure. Pick this up in February.
Yeah.
Album's home.
Visit my website at Dana's Music Playground.
It's a fun website too, folks.
And
You'll enjoy it.
EJOuellette.com or wholemusic.com.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Drew.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
Same to you, Drew.
Great job. Keep having fun with the album. And yeah, here we go. I'm having fun with it. I'm going to be singing this all week.
Bzzz.
We'll let you guys go. Have fun with recording. Enjoy say hello to the kids for us. Finish
Happy
it off.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
We'll play this out. We'll be back to bring it home, guys, in just a couple minutes. It's Afternoon Drive on Chopper Radio. All right. How cool was that? Dana Cohenour, a fabulous musician there, working with EJ Oullette. That was a lot of fun. Good way to end the week, talking some kids' music and all that good stuff. The album's going to be home. Again, you got a taste of it there from Dana. And DJ tells me on the way out that we have a lot of international listeners today. So I guess the music circle there had been widened today. So hello to everybody across the pond and wherever in the world you are. That was a lot of fun though today with Dana Cohenour and EJ Oullette. Dana living out in Washington. Flew across the country and to record with EJ, and they're having a blast and heading off to the studio again right now. So a lot of fun talking with them. Been a great week. Can't really beat that. We had Coach Stalin on Tuesday. Really great conversation with Coach Stalin ahead of Thanksgiving, which we always like to do. And to end the week with Dana and EJ was just a lot of fun. So another great week in the books. As far as scheduling goes, Thanksgiving coming up, we are going to do memory here. We're going to go do a Tuesday show next week, and then we're going to skip the Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. And then these guys, of course, will be working hard with the football game and everything back here at the station. But I will be off Thursday, and then we'll see you the week after that, and then we have to do some holiday schedule workarounds and stuff too. But we'll do the show next Tuesday. You'll be able to tune in. We'll have another fun one for you, and we'll get the week started off right. Okay? Enjoy I guess the sun's going down a little bit here. Geez, that's happening earlier, isn't it? Sun's going down a bit, but we are having, I think, going to be a good weekend. At least Saturday is going to be nice. Maybe a little bit of precipitation Sunday, but enjoy the start to the weekend. Looks like Saturday is the pick of the week. Enjoy it. It's been another fun week. We'll get back at it on Tuesday for one show next week. Big thanks to Lily Dissette, our producer, Tyler Neufeld, Sarah Hayden. Caleb Noble is around. I think he's away, so he's taking the week off or something. So I think he's back next week, or maybe he's coming back after Thanksgiving. But hello to Caleb as well. This is Afternoon Drive on Joppa Radio. Don't forget to follow the show at Joppa Afternoons on Twitter. That's at Joppa, Joppa Afternoons on Twitter. Thank you to the loyal radio listeners, and thank you to everybody watching on television and on the stream around the country and around the globe. today. We enjoyed it very much. Again, big thanks to Dana Cohenour and EJ Ouellette. Great music here on the show again today. And back to the studio they go. My name's Drew Moholland. This has been Afternoon Drive. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye now.